Are any of you still trying to figure out what you're making for dinner tonight? Don't you worry, we've got you. It's time for the Daily Dish. Here's what you need for today's recipe: pork ribs, cumin, smoked paprika, garlic and onion powder, allspice, mustard, sugar, and barbecue sauce. Now, if you couldn't tell from that list of ingredients, we're making ribs with a rub. Chef Devin Rajkumar is here joining us from his kitchen, and we know he has been getting down in that kitchen every day on Instagram for a full cooking show. I'm so excited we can do this today on Cityline. Dev, let's talk a little bit about what you're making today.
So today it's really exciting, and I'm really excited to be filming with Cityline again. Today we're going to be doing a really cool spiced ribs recipe. Now these are easy oven bake ribs, so I don't want to go too over the top or reach too far out of someone's pantry. So I'm hoping that everything that I've selected today is very attainable if you're at home cooking.
Okay, we love that, Dev. Take it away.
The first thing I'm going to do here is along the back of the ribs, you have a membrane here, as you can see. So I need to remove that off. This will prevent the rib from being very tender. So we want to take this off, and once that's off, we can discard that. And then what I want to do is, I'm going to get a bowl over here, and I'm going to add in all the ingredients that we talked about. So we have a half cup of sugar going into my bowl. We have some beautiful spices. The key spice that we're using here today is the allspice, and the allspice is the key.
The allspice is all important because if you are a West Indian, you know that allspice is like, it is the key ingredient for so many things you want to be making, so many seasonings, so many of the rubs out there. Am I right?
That's exactly correct. The allspice, the cinnamon, and the clove, like it's very popular with jerk cuisine. These aren't jerk ribs, but it's going to give you a beautiful depth. So we're adding onion, garlic powder, salt. Get all the garlic powder in there. We have some salt, we have some cumin. And then what I'm going to do with the mustard is I'm going to use the mustard to rub the ribs down. That way, this gives that dry rub that we have something to stick to. Now, if you watch my videos, you'll know that I love whole grain mustard. So anywhere that I can use it, I'm going to use it. And then we're going to give our dry rub a mix, just like this. I'm going to pour it all over the ribs. So this is really simple. Notice I'm doing this on a tray. This is not something that you just want to do on the counter. You want to keep all this mess or all this prep that we're doing here contained. And now what you want to do is rub it in both hands if you can, but I want to keep one hand clean so I can move around here and move stuff. But I want to work this into every nook and cranny of the ribs, especially the ends. I think a lot of times people forget to season the ends. And unfortunately, someone still has to eat that. So we want to make sure that every part of this rib is perfectly coated. And we're getting really close there. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer this to some foil. So I have some foil. Oops, I have some foil on my left. So I'm going to grab that. And we are going to put these ribs in our oven wrapped in foil for about 3 hours. Okay, so I've done one earlier so we can finish it together on the show. But any of this rub that's left over, let's get that coated everywhere. I can smell brown sugar, I can smell cumin, I can smell the cinnamon and the clove. Smoked paprika gives it a nice flavor. It smells sweet from the sugar. Whole grain Dijon, there's just so much fun flavor happening in here. So what we're gonna do from here is take this and wrap it in our foil, like this. That is a good looking rib. Down, get rid of my glove, and then simply going to wrap this. This is going to go on a clean baking tray and into my oven. Meanwhile, while that's happening, I have some potatoes here that I'm going to slice up, and I'm going to add them to a pot of boiling water that I have going over here. And we're going to make a really cool, fun potato salad.
Here's what you're going to need to join him: potatoes, mayo, mustard, celery, pickles, onion, garlic, dill, parsley, some hot sauce, you know, Dev, and lemon. So, if that conversation was any indication, Chef Dev, your daily dish is a lifesaver. Let's finish off this meal, shall we?
Let's do that. So the ribs are here. This is the one that I did earlier this morning. So these cooked through till they were fork tender, approximately 3 hours at 275, 300. And I've already started the broiling process. So I have a baking tray here lined with parchment. And what I'm going to do is I have a homemade barbecue sauce, but please use store-bought. That also leads me to another point. I have smoked paprika and different ingredients that I'm using here today in this recipe. It's very important that if you don't have these, I still want you to get very creative and use what you have at home. That's very important. I don't want you to have to run out for specific ingredients. Yesterday I did an eggs Benny recipe and my plan was to drive out just for English muffins, and I said no, I'm not going to do it. We're going to use what we have at home. So keep that in mind. Ribs going under the broiler, so I'm just over here. Anytime you're broiling, you have to be super careful, so please watch what you're doing at home. I have a spatula here and I have potatoes now that are fork tender. So here are the potatoes, and now it's just a matter of throwing all the ingredients in. I have some thyme, I have some hot sauce, and what I like to do is I like to spread the potatoes around the bowl. It makes it easier for you to do this seasoning where you don't have to mix it up too aggressively after and break up all these nice chunks. I have a lot of pickle. Oh, do I love pickle. There's also some brine in there as well. Pickle brine is one of the, pickle brine chicken, oh man, that's another recipe another day. Celery in. Let's get some black pepper, a respectable amount. We also have some hot sauce, so don't go too crazy. But there, we have some salt going in there as well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop in a bit of red chili because I love it so spicy. But at home, if you don't eat very spicy, then you do you, boo-boo. You don't have to add it all in. So chili goes in, and I think one of the most important ingredients is mayonnaise because that's gonna make it nice and creamy. And we're gonna continue adding our ingredients in here with lemon zest, and then we're gonna add lemon juice. So sure, there might be, 55 different ingredients that go in there, but you can add as many as you like at home. This is the way that I cook. I want big flavor. And let's take a quick peek. I'm gonna mix this around, but let's take a peek at our ribs. So I'm gonna pull these out, and look how beautiful these are coming. And this is the third time I've grilled them, so we can now pull it off the rack. And you can see when I cut into these ribs, it's such a simple recipe. And now if you wanted to plate it up, you definitely could. We would take some of our potato salad. Now you want to give the potato salad a really nice mix. I'm going to plate up a little appetizer style. Obviously, I'm going to crush this entire rack to myself, but just to show you how pretty we can make it at home, we can take a nice double piece here. You know me. Double piece here. Look how studded this is with just tons of fresh herbs. There was dill and parsley in here as well. We're gonna lay this down on the side. And this, you could charge your family a lot of money for this dish at home. Look how pretty this is. Very simple, very neat, very elegant and clean. And that's essentially how I'm gonna do my ribs at home. Now, if you have other different types of barbecue sauces or marinades or seasonings, then please get creative at home and start experimenting and start doing some different things. Use up what you have in your fridge as well. The potato salad is a great way to use up leftover veg, broccoli, dill that's going, etc.